Hi, everybody out there. It's Fred from Metalops in France and metalops.com, Metalops TV in the world. And we go to England, to Birmingham, with one member of Benediction. I will try to speak good English. But in Birmingham, there is a good accent, a special accent in Birmingham. And so could you introduce yourself, please? What's your name and what do you do in the band Benediction?
Well, hello there. My name is David Ingram, and I am the vocalist of Benediction. And I must quickly point out, I am not in Birmingham. I don't
Oh,
live in England anymore.
okay, sorry.
No, not at all. I've been living in Denmark for the last 28 and a half years.
Okay, okay,
So,
okay. I didn't know. I recently interviewed the guys from Concra from Denmark.
okay, yes, yes.
Andersen, Denmark. The interview is on the online. Okay, okay. Yeah, there's metal bands, the same, not the same area, but yeah, the same 90s.
Mm.
Okay, so but thank you very much for your time. But just a question: uh, how do you explain that the legendary acts from Birmingham and English death metal bands are still here now in 2025. You with Benediction, and we are going to speak about your comeback a few years ago, but you are still here, Napalm Death are still here. I interviewed at the beginning by Dying Bride. Okay, it's Halifax, Paradise Lost, but Godflesh, Memoriam, Carl Willets, Scott Fairfax. How do you explain this longevity of this English band, and especially in Birmingham? Uh,
Well, I think that
Despite the
we
trends, the fashions, you are still here.
it wasn't just that. Birmingham was very much known for the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Well, not just Birmingham, but the Midlands as a
Yeah.
whole, that area, the entire area. And a lot of that it sort of became part of our mindset. And that industrial sound. I used to wake up. I've said this in interviews before, but when I was living with my grandparents,
Yeah.
I used to wake up in the morning right next to a factory, and I could
Ah,
hear
yeah.
the boom, boom, boom
Ah,
of the factory, and it was actually very soothing. It didn't
ah,
sort of make me feel bad. It made me feel really good and comfortable, and I felt safe, you know.
okay. Okay.
And I think that sort of mindset, that industrial mindset,
Yeah.
worked with me and also with other band members, and it gave us our heavy metal head, as it were.
Yeah. Black Sabbath and Black Sabbath.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they said the same thing at some point in their career,
Yeah.
and I believe that to be true. I think that it was the environment,
Yeah.
Birmingham environment, and it was a close knit scene as well. You know, everybody got on with everybody. Well, okay, we didn't always get on, but the people within the scene, there was a lot of unity. So
yeah. The middle class and labor. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now let's speak about your comeback. If you just a question, and we are going to speak, of course, of the new Benediction album, awesome, Ravage of Empires, and I think maybe it's okay. But yeah, you came back in the band in 2019, if I'm right.
19, yeah.
Yeah, after Vitriol, Dave Hunt job for in the band Benediction, several albums with him, and after you came back, he still plays singing in Adala track and other side projects, Dave. But simple question: why did you? I know it's a current question, but it makes a long time I didn't interview you, and sometimes it's Darren, the guitarist. But why did you leave Benediction in 1998? Because for me, I remember Grind Bastards, the compilation of Nuclear Blast I received at this time on radio. I remember Grind Bastard, a fucking good album. And why did you choose to come back in 2019? Simply.
Well, 98
Double
was that's
question.
what. Yeah, it was. 98 was when I moved to Denmark. That was the
Okay.
first year I moved
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and it became very difficult
Ouais.
to record with to tour with Benediction. They had a lot of tours scheduled. It was very big, and I thought, you know, maybe it's too much for them to have to work around me. So
yeah, internet was not in 1998. Internet was not developed a lot.
No, it
for
certainly
that.
wasn't how it is now. And I was building a life here in Denmark. So
Okay.
and I would have had to. I did go to Danish school to learn the language.
Okay.
So and I couldn't really take time off from that. So
Okay.
and then
You
fast
come back?
forward, when I came back, it was Dave, the previous singer before me. He said that he was doing his doctorate, his PhD. And he was going to take some time off temporarily, and I was going to come in and do about 9 shows or something with the band. And he then said that he couldn't commit to another album with the band, and he wanted to sort of follow his career with his PhD, with his education. And I thought that was very admirable. And then the band asked me, "Would you like to be back in the band full time?" And I was like, "Sure, that would be awesome."
Okay. And and just a parenthesis, I'm going to interview to see Napalm Death in France next July in the Rip Fest, more hardcore metal festival in France. And Mark Barney Greenway sang before you in Benediction in 1998.
89 and 90,
Okay, the rest is history. Okay, now just a comeback about the previous album where you come back, Scriptures, in 2020.
That's right.
And the pandemic arrived, okay. But what balance sheet? I don't know if you understand the word balance sheet. The balance, the conclusion, the result. You can the assessment you can draw about this last album, Scriptures. For me, it was an awesome album, very efficient, very powerful, and it's a pleasure to have you on vocals coming back. About Scriptures, I am still satisfied because I find this new album, Ravage of Empires, in the continuation, and especially in the artwork, etc. What the conclusion do you have about Scriptures? Still satisfied?
I'm very satisfied with Scriptures. It was a lot of hard work to record it, and I've never worked so hard recording an album before. I mean, I thought Benediction worked hard back in the 90s, but for this one, and with the band, and also with Scott. Scott Aitken. With him, he really pushed us. He pushed every one of us to our limits on Scriptures, and then he did exactly the same thing, but even more on the new one.
On the new one, it's got it's Scott Aitken too. Okay, on production. On the studio. Okay.
So I was very happy, very, very happy with how things came out. It was totally beyond my expectations, and the same with this new one. There's a real wave, a wall of noise in there, and it's the power that Scott can bring to the music is brilliant.
Scott Atkins played I remember in the time on some Stomping Ground, and they reformed the band Stomping Ground recently. Stomping Ground. I remember the album on Century Media in 2000. It was awesome. Hardcore metal, thrash metal, Stomping Ground. But they stopped after. They made 3 albums, if I'm right. Scott Atkins at the Stock. He has his own studio called Stock Studio, if I'm right, or something like that. No.
He's Grindstone.
Grindstone.
Grindstone Studio.
Grindstone Studio. I make confusion. Okay. Perfect. So it's Scott to produce the new album. Okay, because it's the same sound, but I tell you, the new one, Ravage of Empires. Of course, I had not a lot of backwards. Just a few days since I discovered the album, because it's going to release in April on Nuclear Blast. For people who are watching us at this time. But I find, in the continuation of Scriptures, but a bit more trashy in the guitars, and especially in the rhythmics. I find more thrash death metal, a bit like Male Volent Creation did in the past, a bit more, for example, different of Grind Bastard, totally different. I find very, death metal, but old school death metal, but more trashy influences. Is it I'm right, wrong? Darren on guitars, maybe Darren Brooks work more with trash influences in his mind? Not aware.
A lot. We had excuse me a second. One second. Right. We had a very large amount of songs,
Yeah,
the music
yeah.
already written,
Okay,
and it was actually down to me to say which ones I felt were ripe for putting vocals on. And
okay.
I chose all these songs and started writing. I would one at a time, of course, and then I would give them to Darren, and I'd say, "What do we think this needs? What extra parts?"
Okay.
And he would add something, take something away. Sometimes I'd say to him, "Hey, you know that part that's the song starts with that riff that goes dee, 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 dee,
Yeah,
dee, dee,"
yeah.
and I would say it down. Maybe have that come back towards the end as well. We need to have
Ah,
that again.
okay.
And
Yeah.
that's how he and I worked, and it's just across the internet because obviously I'm here in Denmark,
Okay,
he's
okay.
in,
Yeah, yeah.
and we work that way. And then once we get satisfied, we say like, right, okay, done, and then move on to the next one.
Checklist.
And
Yeah.
it was down to both of us saying, because he would say, try this one, and he would say, well, me and Rue, we really like this other number, so can you try and work on that? And sometimes I'll be like, yeah, and then sometimes I'd try something and it wouldn't work.
Ah, okay.
But then
Okay.
but that happened once, and we actually came back. I came back to that song, and the second time I went through it, I was like, wow, that I know something that's going to work for that. And that one went on the album in the end.
Ah,
It's the
okay.
song Psycho Sister.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it has those different beats, the different timing,
Yeah.
4 5 4 7 or something like that. I can't quite remember what the timing is right now, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hang
Okay. Yeah.
on.
There are 11 tracks at all
Yeah.
globally. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Especially, I speak about the song. For example, Carry On Harvest.
Okay.
The finality of perpetuation, crawling over cops. I feel, some thrash influences in the music, in the riff, in the rhythmics. But your growls are death metal and are awesome.
Thank you.
How did you work your voice? Because the time passed. You say you didn't make anything with the band during several years. You came back on scripters. Did you work a lot, especially with Scott Atkins, on studio to have this voice, to conserve this voice, to improve this voice with the time,
Well,
the years?
I mean, when I left Benediction in '98, I did 6 years with Bolt Thrower.
Ah, yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah, and then after that, I actually did a Danish band. We were called Downlord. We
I don't
released a
know.
couple of albums,
I don't know.
and
Okay.
no. It was a very small label in
Okay,
America. It
underground.
was very
Oh, okay.
underground.
Ah, you were active.
Um,
Okay, you were active.
yeah, I was active, and then after that, I stopped singing, and I would do guest spots now and again. And it was for about 10 years, and I was doing a podcast. I was doing a radio show
Ah,
that
yeah,
got
yeah,
that got syndicated around the world.
yeah,
It was quite popular. Then we stopped that. I did some band work with Hail of Bullets and with Just Before Dawn. Then I was asked to come back to Benediction. But during all that time, I quit smoking, and
Ah,
that really helped my
ah,
voice.
okay,
Um,
okay.
so not just the time away, not those 10 years where I wasn't singing particularly, and
Okay.
then quitting smoking as well. And I would say to
Ah,
people, quit smoking. It's bad for you. Your voice will last longer if you're a singer as well.
uh,
Then yeah, that was what a part of it. What it was. Now, when we
mm,
were recording both scriptures and the new one, Scott is very much into the album Grind Bastard, so he was trying to get my vocals to be more like Grind
ah,
Bastard.
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, I'm a death metal singer. Grind Bastard was something we tried back then.
yeah,
This is a completely different period
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
we sort of had a cross between the two, um, and I'm very pleased with how it all came out.
Okay.
And there's you can hear there's variety. Some of the vocals are a little higher up and powerful, and then there's some
Yeah,
that are down
yeah,
low. So
yeah, yeah.
and it works. It works. So we were
Okay.
happy with that.
Not to smoking, not
Yeah.
to drink a lot of bourbon, because sometimes not to weed too much weed. I think about
No.
Dan Benton from this side. He tell me. Okay, about the artwork and the Ravage of Empires.
Yeah.
Is it the same thematic? Because I remember on scriptures it's like a messiah, a man, a god, I don't know. divinity, leader of sect, I don't know. And we have a bit the same on the new artwork, the same colors, but the same, maybe is it the same character? And what is it about Ravage of Empires? I guess it's you who write the lyrics.
Yeah. It was all me. No, on scriptures it was more the nun image on the either side of the logo.
Yeah.
On the Benediction logo, there's a good nun and a bad nun.
Yeah.
So that was what the imagery of that was. We wanted to sort of go old school and still keep something new, something fresh. But with Ravage of Empires, firstly, that's not the same figure in the middle. That's something else. And if you look closely at the artwork, I can't give too much away because the album's not out yet. So I know people have seen it, but they haven't seen it close up. They haven't seen a detailed picture.
I will put the links, etc.
Yeah. But the artwork, if you look at the buildings that are in it, are very similar to the ones on Transcend the Rubicon.
I remember this album.
And it is, and they're sort of being pulled up into. And I won't go into details, but there are things hidden in the artwork. If you remember back in the 80s, Iron Maiden's Power Slave and Somewhere in Time, they had things hidden in their artwork. Well, we did the same, not as much as Iron Maiden had, but there are things in the artwork that we had put in by the artist. So it's there, and it does have a meaning towards it, but I can't really go into it now because I mean, when's this video going out?
In April for the release of the album.
Okay, all right. It's not going out before. All right then.
I respect.
Yeah. Okay. It's more to sort of show the destruction, because the Transcend the Rubicon was all about an empire, the Roman Empire, if people didn't know, and Ravage of Empires shows the destruction of said empire being ravaged. And it's sort of a follow-on to that, but showing the destruction of it. And I'm hoping that people will get that. Well, now that I've told them, they will. So.
Okay. Yes, Julius Caesar said, "Alea iacta est," when it crossed the Rubicon.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And that's done. Okay. But he died very sadly. That was nice in the body. Yes. Ravages of Empire. Could we say also it's a ravage on Earth of empires of maybe our societies, West, East world, like in the the Cold War?
It's more of a fantasy realm, same as Transcend the Rubicon was a fantasy realm, even though the references was empires on Earth. The actual artwork it was all fantastical. So.
Okay. Do you know Ex Deo, the project of Maurizio from Cataclysm about the Roman Empire, and especially the new EP about the year of the four emperors? Ex Deo.
I don't. I know.
Heavy death metal symphonic, and all is based on Rome story.
Okay.
He's a Maurizio singer, French, Canadian singer, but now in Florida from Cataclysm. It's all the team of Cataclysm, and they speak only about the Rome antiquity. Listen to it. 11 tracks. What are your favorite tracks? 3 favorite tracks. I know it's hard on this new album. And what will they? Are there coming live? No, not video, not live, but video shooting about this new single of the album. Could you tell them now, or it's too soon?
No, there's going to be a single out today as we're talking right now. The song will be it's out right now. Actually, it's already up online. The song's called "Engines of War."
Okay, the fifth song. Okay, Engines of War.
And then there is another video coming, but right now I'm not going to say what it is, but because I'm not sure when it comes out. It might come out around the same time as the album. So
and it's a lyrical video or very.
No, there's there's us. We filmed 2 together, actually here in Copenhagen. The band
okay.
flew over and came here, and then there may be a lyric video as well. We're
Okay.
sort of trying to work things out with that. So
Okay. I remember the single of the video Storm Crow of the previous album. You were sitting
oh
on
yeah,
the chair with the bottle and the guys open outdoors.
yeah,
It was a
yeah.
very when I really remember your comeback, I was very happy.
Okay.
And it was a pandemic, you know. Could you tour a lot? You couldn't tour for a previous album, so you caught the time between 2022 and 24. Maybe you toured a lot after pandemic for scripture.
After the pandemic, yeah,
Yeah.
we did quite as much as we could.
Okay.
It was hard. I mean, during the
Yeah.
pandemic, we recorded the album, and then we had about 6-7 months where we couldn't do anything together. Then there was the small pause in the pandemic,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
we had about a week where we could fly in. I could fly in, so could Gio, and play record the videos, and then fly out again almost immediately.
Okay. And during this time, you already compose and work on the new stuff we have now, Ravage of Empires. Between
no, actually, that's been done in over the last 18 months.
Okay.
So we worked on that, but we've decided we don't want to leave it so long for the next one. So
okay. Yeah.
I'm actually thinking that we're going to start and work on new material now, very slowly, so that we've got an album. Sooner. It's been too long, I think.
You have a record deal with Nuclear Blast, so you have to release.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it'll be better this time around. Also, we had the pandemic, so we couldn't really.
And you are able to write lyrics or to give ideas of riffs. You are not guitarist, but during the tour, when you are on tour, you are your mind to compose, to be inspired or not? You can't.
Lyrically, no. We're either too busy having a good time, or we're actually on stage.
Right.
But should the mood take me, I will sit down with a piece of paper and write something.
Okay.
But the guitars, they might think of something during sound check.
And
they'll sort of play it, and then the next day they'll play it again, and then they'll try and remember it. So it's a good process. We can all be together, and I mean, our bass player now, Nick, he's actually a guitarist himself. He's a very, very, very talented guitarist. So he's wasted as a bass player, I tell you. He's a great guitarist. So he's going to be good at writing with us as well on the next one. So I'm pretty sure he'll come up with some sick riffs.
Yes. Okay. I ask you a lot of questions, but very quickly, 2 short questions. You didn't answer. What are your 3 favorite songs of the album? I know it's hard on 11.
But, I'd say. Let's see. Genesis Chamber. Beyond the Veil of the Grey Mare.
Yeah.
I really like the lyrics, how it all came out on that one. And
and maybe Psycho Sister, no?
Psycho Sister, yeah.
Or Ravage of Empires, the last album, the last track.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's hard to choose. It really is hard to choose, because they're all songs that I've written, and if I wasn't happy with them, I wouldn't put them on the album.
The rest is in the bin, in the.
So trash. Engines of War came out better than I thought it was ever going to come out.
Okay.
Because I mean, the lyrics, not the music. The lyrics. Because I thought maybe I was going down the wrong path with the lyrics, but it worked out really well in the end. So I'm glad that I kept it.
Okay. It's a hard question. To select the song and to select to prepare your set list for live shows. It will be hard.
It will.
Select Storm Crow, some from the previous album. Okay. Are there any guests on this new record? I don't.
No, not this time around.
Why?
Well, we thought we did it. We did Cam Lee guesting on the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
Cam Lee from Massacre.
Cam Lee from Massacre. Yeah.
And we thought, let's just do us this time around.
Well,
we asked. We did ask a couple of people originally, but they never got back to us, which was absolutely fine. They were obviously very busy, and believe me, they are. And then we thought, well, let's not consider that anymore because we want to get this album done, and
Oh,
we'll do it our way. And
right.
yeah,
Okay.
and maybe on the next one. Maybe on the next one. We've got a few ideas.
Yeah,
We've
right,
got
yeah.
some people to speak to.
Ask the guys in Denmark or in Birmingham. Uh, 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 and last question before the plans of Benediction. When you started the band, so in the late 80s, excuse me,
Yeah.
did you think to be still here and to come back one day and to release a 9 album studio? Not especially you sometimes, but to be still here with Benediction 36 years after, or it was just a young band, just rehearsed in the garage and demos, and it will be cool if you made show. But did you think about this career? Because you are one of the main singers of death metal in the world.
Well, we got it. We went into this not thinking we're going to be huge. We're going to.
Yeah,
We never went in with that in mind. We were very lucky. We worked hard, and we pushed ourselves, and we were in the right place at the right time for certain events. And that's how it is. And with the music industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And we knew some of the good people, and they sort of pushed us one way, and then we sort of worked hard and got it the other. And that's how it is. Did I ever think I'd come back to doing this? No, I didn't. When Benediction contacted me and said, do you want to come back? I was like, God damn, okay. And yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was all over for me. I thought, this was it.
Okay.
But yeah, of course. And coming back to it, it was very natural. It was very easy. I mean, I know I'd done other bands over the years, but it was natural, and it was like I hadn't been away, getting to know the guys all over again. So,
okay. What are the plans for this year or maybe next year? And can we hope to see you live in France? Are you going to make a European tour, an American tour, an Asian tour? And a few words to the French people before to quit.
Well, we've got a European tour, which is some shows around Germany, Austria. I can't remember all the countries we're playing. We are trying to. We got I think the last show at the moment is in Switzerland, which is quite a distance away. We would like to have played in here in Copenhagen, but to get from Switzerland to Copenhagen, it's pretty impossible. So we might have needed a show along the way, which could have been France or Holland. So we are trying. We're trying to get to France.
And festival?
But it's a big tour with Benediction, Jungle Rot Master.
Okay, and you are the headliner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got a few shows, about 3 shows in America, and then a bunch of festival shows throughout the rest of the year. And we're still getting offers coming in now. So I would suggest that people take a look at our Facebook page, the Benediction page, and that way you'll get all the information. You get updates on what gigs are coming, what we're going to be doing for the year. And also, I release a lot of stuff on my own Facebook page if you're friends. So
and come to play to France, to festivals, summer festivals this year or next year, please. Motoculture, Hellfest, we have a lot of good.
We will try. Believe me, so we will definitely try.
And the last word in French, maybe? Do you speak French? No.
Not a bit. Omelette du fromage, and I only know that from watching Dexter's Laboratory on Cartoon Network. So.
Okay. I say santé, cheers, and I thank you very much. Merci beaucoup in French. Thank you very much for this interview, Dave. Take care and good luck with this very good album, Ravage of Empires. Very still fresh, still powerful. Your voice, the riffs are awesome. I like it. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And last words. Allons-y.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Cheers.